Hey guys, what is going on? I hope you all are doing well today. My name is Elliot and welcome back to the Fragrance Well. Today's topic of discussion is going to be a signature scent for every season. I've got 3 fragrances that I would use as a signature scent for every season, and we're going to talk about them right now. All right guys, and welcome back. So before we get started, one of the things I think about when I consider a signature scent is a fragrance that I can use pretty much everywhere in every situation and it'd be appropriate. I completely ignored that for this video. I am considering signature scents only that speak to my personality and stuff that I love, and also considering what the season is, so season appropriate, which is not a must-have for any signature scent, but because I'm doing them per season, I'm gonna make that so in this video. All right, so I got 12 to go through, so I'm not gonna waste any more time. First off, this is from the house of Dior, Fahrenheit Parfum. By the way, this is winter. This is for the winter season, so first 3 fragrances are for winter. This is Dior Fahrenheit Parfum. This fragrance right here, spicy, boozy, sweet, great vanilla accord in here. It's not too overbearingly sweet, but it still has that sweetness that is great for that cooler weather. Has those spices to reel you in. You have some lavender and pink pepper in the top of this to give it kind of a nice little pop to it. Some citruses to support it. Still known for that violet leaf and those leather accords. The violet leaf, however, is turned down quite a bit in this, so you don't really get that petrol vibe as much. But this is a true Parfum flanker to the original with some added sweetness and added booziness to just give it a little bit more of a modern flair, if you will. Dior Fahrenheit Parfum. Okay, and my second winter signature scent for me is going to be Amouage Journeyman. Amouage Journeyman. If you can't tell already, hey, I'm gonna be wearing the spices when it is winter temperatures outside. All about spice, lots of tobacco, little bit of sweetness from this, just a touch from tonka bean, but it's not a sweet fragrance in my opinion. This is all about spices and tobacco. Just a little bit of smokiness in this fragrance too, so it's not like an ashy, smoky tobacco fragrance. It's very smooth. If you've seen it in some of my earlier videos, you know I like this one. I've talked about it quite a bit, and it definitely would be a signature scent for me in the winter weather. Once again, Journeyman from Amouage. All right, and the last winter signature scent fragrance for me is going to be Naxos from Xerjoff. Naxos from Xerjoff. I think this one will kind of appeal to the younger guy a little bit more. I tried to consider that in some of my choices. I put myself into these choices, but I wanted to kind of think about others as well to some degree, but honeyed tobacco in this one. Has a little bit of spice to it, but this one I would not consider a spicy tobacco fragrance. This is a sweet tobacco fragrance, very sweet. Lots of honey in this, good amount of tonka and vanilla bean, especially in the dry down. A little bit of lavender in the top of this too to give it some freshness off the top. So this gives this fragrance a little bit of versatility, but there's no doubt that this is the quintessential idea of a winter time fragrance. So would definitely be a good choice for wintertime signature scent. Once again, Xerjoff's Naxos. Okay guys, we're moving on to the springtime. I know for me, when it is springtime, I'm gonna focus a lot more on floral fragrances. So first up, from the house of Xerjoff, also, this is Uden Overdose. Xerjoff Uden Overdose. Now, this fragrance here is not a heavy floral fragrance, but it has a lot of tobacco flower in it that gives it that floral quality. It's very fresh, but has a good amount of richness to it as well. So when you think transition month, especially early spring when it's still getting cooler at night, but the daytime it's starting to warm up a little bit, this one kind of can carry some of that weight with it and allow it to really carry through that spring air, especially that cool spring air, as well as be pleasant in the warmer air. This fragrance also has coffee in it, so it gives a little bit of an earthy vibe. A lot of amber and musk. That amber definitely pushing some of the sweetness that's in this fragrance. You also get a good spicy vibe. There is ginger in this, so there's probably some other spices as well, but they're not necessarily listed accord, so you get some spiciness from this, but this is just a beautiful composition from the house of Xerjoff. I love wearing this in springtime like weather. So Uden Overdose from Xerjoff. Okay, and next up from the house of Amouage, I'm getting my spicy rose going. This is Lyric Man. Amouage Lyric Man, a rose heavy fragrance featuring a lot of spices and some citrus. The opening note of lime in this, if you like lime, you definitely gotta love how the lime is used in this. It just gives it a nice pop right off the top, but also features a lot of rose. It is a very jammy, heavy rose fragrance. Also has some green like accords. I think there's pine in this to give it a little bit of a masculine tinge to it. And lots of spices. There's a good amount of nutmeg in this as well, one of my favorite spices to be used. So this is a spicy rose fragrance, perfect for the springtime. Amazing performance as well, if that's something you really care about. It's definitely something I would wear if I was in an environment where it's like, okay, this is springtime, I need something that puts me in that mood. This one does it for me. Amouage Lyric Man. All right, the last and final spring fragrance is going to be coming from the house of Parfums de Marly. This is Greenley. Parfums de Marly's Greenley. This is actually my scent of the day. We're not getting springtime temperatures here right now. It is definitely more summer, but this is a spring and summertime fragrance. But this one has so much freshness to it. It's kind of got a fresh out of the shower kind of vibe, but not in a cheap way. There's some apple in this to give it some crispness. Has some green like accords. A very musky dry down as well. Kind of woody too. Good amount of oak moss in this too. So it's not an oak moss bomb, but you know, that can be kind of off-putting for some people, so consider that in this choice. I mean, the fragrance is green. When you think about springtime, you think about all the trees reblooming their leaves and their flowers, so you're gonna see green a lot when it is springtime. If you have a heavy winter, this fragrance here is telling you right off the bat what it's trying to go for. Perfect springtime transition fragrance in my opinion. Parfums de Marly, Greenley. Okay guys, we are moving on to the summertime. Give me that sweet heat from the house of Kajal. This is Lamar. From the house of Kajal, Lamar. First of all, stunning bottle. Very reflective, so I'm trying to make it to where you can actually see it and not just see the camera. This fragrance here, pineapple in particular, rose, a very sweet, smooth, kind of berry-like rose. It's very fruity fragrance. Has a nice kind of citrus cocktail to support those pineapple accords in the opening. And then you get a lot of rose and rose that's kind of coming off kind of fruity to keep that fruitiness throughout the life of the fragrance. And then you have sweet accords like vanilla and toffee supporting it throughout. Just a beautiful fragrance, perfect for the high heat. Definitely a good nighttime fragrance as well. I just got this in not too long ago and I will be giving this plenty of wears during the summertime. Once again, Lamar from Kajal. All right, summertime signature scent number 2. Terre d'Hermès Eau Givree. Come on, man. Terre d'Hermès Eau Givree. I mean, if you know, you know, right? I mean, rindy citrus, kind of similar to grapefruit. I believe the official accord is citron. It almost has kind of a fresh woody greenness to it. And of course, there's vetiver in this. In my opinion, one of the best summertime releases in the last couple of years from a designer house. I'm going to wear the absolute crap out of this summer as well. Terre d'Hermès Eau Givree from the house of Hermès. All right, and the final summertime fragrance, my favorite sport fragrance to date. This is Dior Homme Sport, the 2021 release. So the latest iteration of the Dior Homme Sport fragrances. I love this stuff, man. It is bright, it's fresh, it's citrusy, it has some aldehydes in it, still kind of has that woody base to it, though the woods are certainly turned down quite a bit in this. So this is more fresh than it is woody, but still a true flanker to Dior Homme 2020. It's almost the same thing. I mean, it's almost the exact same fragrance, just they turn the citrus and the freshness way up, turn the woods way down, but it's basically the same thing. But I almost give this a nod a little bit over Dior Homme 2020. I kind of like this one a little bit better. Although it is a sport fragrance, it is a very gentlemanly and classy fragrance. This is my kind of fragrance right here. So easy choice for me in terms of having a summertime signature scent. Dior Homme Sport 2021. Okay guys, we have made it to everyone's favorite time of year, the fall. This is when, you know, fragrances really start to come out. The good ones really start to come out, at least in my opinion they do. From the house of Roja Parfums, this is Danger Parfum. Danger Parfum pour Homme. I love this fragrance. Doesn't get talked about a lot, but this one is very, very spicy, very, very woody. Has a good blast of lavender in the opening, so it has a freshness to it. It's very fresh kind of spice. Kind of gets a little bit powdery when it really dries down, but it kind of retains just that spicy, woody goodness. There's a lot of notes listed on this, as you expect with every Roja fragrance, but with this one when I look at them, it's hard for me to pick out what exactly I'm smelling. The only thing I can really pick out exactly with this fragrance is lavender. Everything else, whatever is blended up to make it smell like, it is just all good. I'm not even gonna pretend like, oh, I smell this or that with this one. I can't tell. All I know is it's good. Spicy, woody fragrance from the house of Roja Parfums. Great night out scent, but also one that, can be kind of dressed up, kind of a gentlemanly scent. Just don't overspray it. This is some strong stuff. Danger Pour Homme, Parfum from Roja Parfums. Okay, next fall time fragrance coming from the house of Tom Ford. This is Ombre Leather. Now I have the Parfum concentration here. I am considering both. I think either one would work. Tom Ford Ombre Leather. I will say that this one compared to the EDP version is smoother, but not denser, which is kind of interesting. Usually when you get a Parfum concentration, you get a blast of a richer version of kind of the core notes, which this one obviously it being leather accords as well as some florals to support it. The leather is still here, but it didn't get richer. It's actually fresher. It's actually, in my opinion, easy to wear. But that being said, I still like how this smells. But yeah, like I said, ombre leather, either concentration would work. I think that's a really good choice for a fall time signature scent, especially for someone who wants to be a little bit more playful with something that they're wearing frequently in the fall time. Ombre Leather Parfum or Ombre Leather EDP from Tom Ford. All right, guys, and the last wintertime fragrance and the last fragrance on this video is going to be from the house of Cartier. Pasha de Cartier Parfum. Pasha de Cartier Parfum. Still a nod to the classic Pasha de Cartier EDT aromatic fougere fragrance. However, this one is modernized quite a bit, adds a lot of sweetness to it, and adds some very rich boozy accords, also very balsamic as well. I love this fragrance. I mean, this is a great release. I know it wasn't talked about a lot kind of because it was kind of released really kind of when the pandemic really took off, so people's minds were just elsewhere, but people did talk about it, and I think it's starting to make its rounds again. It's a really good fragrance. Love the booziness to it, has a sweetness to it, very gentlemanly fragrance as well. Not my first choice if I was gonna wear it to work because of that boozy nature, but it can be pulled off. Just dial back the sprays or maybe just spray it under your shirt so it's not, really loud. Beautiful composition from the house of Cartier. An easy choice for me for fall weather wear. Once again, Pasha de Cartier, the Parfum concentration. Okay guys, that's it. That was 3 fragrances for each season that I would choose as a signature scent, barring worrying about whether or not it'll work for a work environment. I gotta say, this list was actually hard for me to put together because as I really just kind of took that work thing out of it and it's just like gives me a scent that speaks to my personality and it's a scent that I love, I had a lot of options I could have chose. So this was difficult. So that being said, let me know what you might choose as a signature scent for each season. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you like the content. Share the video with somebody you think might like this content. Remember to be well and smell well. And remember, I will see you in the next episode of The Fragrance Well. Have a great day.